Hello, folks. We are here with our PMQ live update for Monday, March 30th. We're here with Will Grant of That's a Something Pizza. Did I pronounce that right? Does it have the focus on the accent or?
Absolutely. That's a some pizza.
That's a Something Pizza. So, okay. Thank you so much for being with us today, Will. Again, these are very important things that shows for people to show that everybody's out there in the same boat and, just show some solidarity for the industry. So there it was. I got it up now. I'm watching it live too. So again, Will Grant of That's a Some Pizza in Bainbridge Island, Washington. We got some topics that we want to discuss today. Some kind of unique things that he's actually going through. I've got a whole giant list of stuff too. So, but let's just first question I ask everybody. Oh, there we go. That's nice. That's a nice.
Sorry, had some weird lighting issues going on.
No worries, my friend. First off, again, congratulations on the beard and your logo. That's very nice. But as per usual, I want to ask the very first question. When did this get real for you? What was the first adaptation that you had to do? And then how's it progressed since then?
Well, here in Seattle area, I'm just outside of Seattle. We are a half-hour ferry boat ride from downtown Seattle in Kitsap County on Bainbridge Island. The governor of Washington is actually from Bainbridge Island. He's a longtime customer of ours for over 35 years. Mr. Jay Inslee. His family comes in all the time. Being one of the first ones to be put on lockdown, it was before that was when schools got canceled for us. At first, our numbers were up a little bit. We're like, oh, what's going on? We're a little busier, but it was kind of scary. And then the day schools shut down, that's when things really got real for us. It was St. Patrick's Day. And, we lost about 50% of our business. Granted, St. Patrick's Day for a small pizzeria on Bainbridge Island, Washington, isn't really a big day anyways, but still it really was a big punch to the gut. And it was at that point we realized that we had to go ahead and make some changes. I'm really blessed that my family's been doing this since I've been 5 years old. And, my mom has been retired for about 4 years from, I say retired to my mother is only working 40 hours a week, right? So the first thing my mom says is shut down lunch, Where we're at, lunches have always kind of been hard anyways, but we knew and we saw that with the way things were going, we had to, start immediately making some cuts to make sure we could stay open. So we shut down for lunch. We changed our hours from, it was 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily, except on Friday and Saturday it's open till 9. We immediately shut things down to 2:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. And I was straight up with my employees. I said, if you guys need to get on unemployment, go ahead and get on unemployment. But luckily, we had some people that were just more nervous about just being at work than really even, people are scared right now. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of media going on. I immediately lost, I'd say about 7 employees,
really?
Right off the back with all this. Absolutely.
That was going to be my other question. Obviously, again, too, is employee retention. It's how many people. I don't want to say jump ship. That's a terrible term, but how many people didn't want in the era of confusion and chaos, they wanted to stay home. So you lost 7 people. I mean, how many locations do you have and about what size staff overall?
Well, right now we just have the one location on Bainbridge Island. We have about 20 staff there. So, we lost a good chunk, several managers,
Well, that's almost 50%. How did you guys cope with that?
Well, it worked out not to be callous, it worked out for the best. And not only did we have to change our hours, but we had to change our staffing a little bit. So instead of, it was kind of a blessing in a way that the governor said, all essentials shut down, everyone shut down. And the business went down a little bit because we were already really, really slow. People have been scared. And the last thing I wanted to do was have to make it so I would have to scare off my employees and tell my employees, you guys can't work here anymore. So because of that, they left on their own, and that's helped us, save on labor. We've been down. We started 50% down. We're about 35 to 40% down, but we brought our labor down also. I've done articles for Pizza Today and PMQ about prime costs. It's really, really important to know what you're making, how much you're making, what you're doing. I mean, you can make the best food in the world, but if you're not charging the right price for it, you're not going to be able to stay open. So we realized that we needed to cut back on labor, and it's kind of been eye-opening for us seeing, how hard we had already been struggling on lunches, how much staff we needed there to prepare for lunches, especially with slice sales. There's a big difference in selling a $3 slice than there is in selling a $20 pizza.
Yeah.
And you really have to hustle for a slice sale. So it's been kind of nice to just focus on what's important, right? And focus on the core of the business, focus on the labor, focus on, the hours are open. Nope, there's a little Angie and I.
Yeah. Well, like you said, what's important. So I figured that was perfect time for that one. But
absolutely. It's kind of been kind of weird. It is as hard as this all has been. It's been kind of good at the same time. It's, we were running about 30% labor. We're trying to run about 20% labor. I'm doing what I can to stay as much at home and keep hours for the staff that do need work and do need to stay there. I mean, my initial, my mother, she initially said, shut down for lunches. My initial thought was shut down everything, have just me and one or two other employees in there. We can do this ourselves. But, what about the people that do need the work that aren't going to be able to pay their bills? After the fear kind of subsided, I was like, no, these people, I'm not the only one that needs to eat. I'm not the only one that's going to go hungry and going to lose, or, has to pay our bills. So it was important that I kept on and gave as many hours as I can to my staff and make sure that they have a stability there and there's strength and stability.
Well, right. And that's another message that everybody's putting across is you got to captain of the ship. You got to be strong and project that for your staff, your family, and your customers. So,
more so our community at this point. People are scared. They don't know what's going on. It's amazing how going out and seeing that you're stuck in your house for a few days. You go, oh God, I'm going to go out and it's going to be great to get out of the house. And you're around everyone else, and everyone else is kind of somber, kind of down, kind of, I don't know what it is like for you guys, but we've been on lockdown for 2 weeks now. And, we got a whole other month to go through this. It's mentally, this is affecting people, and it's hard on people. So, getting out there isn't as easy as you think. And just even being open can be scary at sometimes. I don't want my employees getting sick. They are family. Like I said, we got to pay our rent. As much as all these stimulus packages are going through and stuff. I mean, I'm not going to depend on the government to keep me going through this. I need to depend on me. That's I'd love to, but as a small business owner, especially in Washington State, we just got our minimum wage just jumped up on us. So, kids that never worked before are making, for minimum wage here is $13.50, but with the tips, these kids are making $17 to $18 an hour with no experience. And, I had, as soon as that law passed, I had, 5, 6-year-old kids decide to walk out on the job on me. And it's been rough. I'll be honest. It's been trying, but we gotta depend on ourselves, and we got to get through this, and we got to make the adjustments we need to make. And
absolutely. I got a couple things I wanted to actually ask you real quick though. One was that you said you lost like 7 people up at the front, which is almost 50% of your staff for your store. Is there, are there jobs going to be there when they come back? Was it, did you have that talk?
Every single employee that said, I'm scared, I need to go. I've got sick parents at home. I can't do this. The anxiety is getting to me. I told every single woman, you'll always have a job here. You'll always be a part of the family. But in this kind of economy where the bottom's dropped out on this, where, I don't know that we'll be able to. I will always do my best. And, when hiring again, they will always get priority for me. I will always take care of I'm just trying to keep the doors open, and if we need people when we need people, we will. But I can't make complete promises on something that being a small business owner, you're always making plans, right? Well, every time I make a plan, an hour later something changes and that plan's out the window. And I'd love to plan for as much as I can. I'd hire everyone plus more when this all finishes. But we don't know what state the economy is going to be in after this. And really then is great and hopeful, but right now I have to focus on now and how we'll get the next meal. It was interesting, supporting restaurants and stuff. There was a Facebook page and people were saying, don't go to chain restaurants. You can't go to chain restaurants. Well, you know what?
They're hurting
Hungry is hungry, homeless is homeless. Everyone needs our support in this. And that was before the shutdown, where it was very interesting how things shifted with the shutdown here. At first, it was the restaurants saying, oh my God, we need your help, keep us afloat. Next thing you know, no one can work. So, we're the lucky ones we can even be open. So you have to be really careful. And, like we had talked about before, how you can market yourself in this kind of time.
Well, and this kind of the topic of conversation moving towards, you're in a small town, Bainbridge Island. Like you said, it's just outside. It's easier to just say outside Seattle, but
Kitsap County is where I'm from.
What county?
Kitsap County in the Kitsap Peninsula.
Okay. Well, it's also gets a lot of its revenue and business from tourism too. I mean, and obviously that's kind of affected you. Now you do have the one location, so you have a unique perspective versus people who have 10, 12, 15. I know you're saying you used to be jealous. I'm like, I'd love to have 10 and 12 or 15. And then this happened and you're like, I'm not so jealous anymore.
I had 5 people, that walked off the job, and it was right when we needed them kind of to also, because, business had plummeted 50% at that point. I can only imagine having, 11 restaurants and having to furlough 250 people. That would just be heartbreaking. I mean, it's not, the margins are so slim in this business, and it's just, people think that, oh, wow, you just must be loaded. You're a boss, you're a restaurateur, it's, we're lucky, a great business gets 6%. That's a great business. And most make a lot less than that. And it's, people don't understand those margins. And, it's.
Well, it's like you said, know those prime numbers and, and you'll have everything. You won't have it figured out, but just you have to know those prime numbers. And anybody opening a business, I hope, would have that understanding.
Absolutely.
Everybody I'm talking to currently does.
Yeah. Well, also Bainbridge Island only has, it's the same size as Manhattan, but a few million less people, I always say. We have 24,000 people on Bainbridge Island.
A few million less.
Yeah. But, when this all happened, we were one of 2 delivery spots. So everyone's come in thinking, wow, you must be doing great. Business must be up. Well, we went from one of 2 delivery restaurants on Bainbridge Island to one of 25 delivery restaurants on Bainbridge Island. And tourism, we last year we moved to a new location, and we aren't right next to the ferry terminal where we used to be, where tourism used to be big for us. But those restaurants that are still downtown there, they are down without the tourism there. And with them delivering, they've had, pull from our business as well. And then, you got people that want to support those businesses. So instead of coming to us, they're going to them. But, and my heart bleeds from, like I said, it's hard. It's really hard. The percentages aren't really what you like to think, me saying, watch your prime costs is the best thing to watch. It's hard to do when you're that busy, and when you got so much overhead, you've got rent, you've got electricity, you've got insurance. And so it's really important that you do keep an eye on it, because not many people do. And, me saying keep an eye on prime costs is not a lot of people really do it. And it's important to do.
Well, I like what you had mentioned there. Well, I don't like it, but I want to acknowledge that you said you went from one of 2 delivery places to now one of 25. Does that create a lot of fierce competition in there, or are you guys kind of cooperative and realize that we have to slice this up now to support each other? I mean, what's kind of the attitude there?
Well, with that, it's just, people are going to do what people do. A restaurant is a part of the community. And if people aren't going to your restaurant for a little bit, that means they're supporting someone else in the community. I want us all to survive from this. And that comes back to the marketing thing too. What are we going to do to market to get people in your restaurant? Well, I don't know that marketing come to my restaurant is the right thing to do right now, at least not for us. I don't want people feeling obligated to come to my restaurant when, they don't even want to leave their houses. And so trying to take away that business from other people isn't what I want to do as well. So when I'm marketing, I'm just marketing strength and what we do offer and how we do help our community. And really even on the helping community, I haven't really shared a lot of what I try to do for the community, because that's not really who I am. But I have friends that are doing that. There's little restaurants around here. They're just, they're fighting and they're struggling to get by. Just in Kitsap County, I have my friends, Kim and Tony with Kingston Ale House next to my new location. They've been doing everything they can do. They were a little bar and restaurant that, it's one of my favorite restaurants around, but they've just had to change their whole model into doing delivery and takeout, and doing GoFundMe's to get money to help families that aren't working right now. And I have another buddy of mine, Jim with the Tracyton Tavern. He's had to change. He was a tavern. Not Jim McGraw. No, this is Jim. He was an old buddy of mine. We actually went to school together. Actually, growing up on the island, he was the only other kid. We would walk from middle school downtown. We're the only kids that did it, and he would go to his parents' restaurant, and I would go to my parents' restaurant. So I've known him for,
Well, I just wanted to acknowledge that Jim McGraw is watching, so I didn't know if that was a Jim.
Jim McGraw is watching. This is not Jim McGraw.
Linda, my boss, is there. Mike Doniker, Carmelo again. We got and Amanda Cicciarello. We got all our loyal followers. So
right on.
It's going to live out there forever. And then hopefully you guys again ask questions of Will. He's very accessible and loves to talk to people. And I think he's got a unique perspective, being like a single unit in a smaller town. It's a different way, and it is based a lot on tourism. A lot of the business just in there. So
it is.
But I know you said that you don't brag about or talk about much the community outreach, but I do want to talk about something, and we're going to talk about this again with actually I believe tomorrow with John Stetson about feeding schools. Now this is something you've always really done, but you were feeding, I guess, private schools, but you kind of I don't want to say graduated, but you started feeding up.
Worked our way into, for the last 15 years. We've been doing school lunches for a lot of the private schools on Bainbridge Island. And last year, I'd actually finally was able to bid for and win the bid for the public schools to help them out. A big part of that is, just feeding kids at school. And now, so once a month, I'd feed 4 different elementary schools on Bainbridge Island and actually middle school. Well, once this hits, I was talking to the head of the department that I work with, and he said, it's been hard on them trying to get kids fed. So they've changed what they're ordering from these distributors. And so they're actually getting price gouged right now from the distributors. And they're trying to find ways they can save money to really feed kids. So every Friday for the last 2 weeks, we've been doing about 85 to 95 pizzas that we cut in a certain way. It's the biggest discount I've ever done on any pizzas. I sell them at just enough just to pay for the staff. And to keep them working, to keep them busy. And we're able to feed, last week we fed 850 kids on Bainbridge Island. The week before, I think we fed about, just around 800. And it's, you're part of a community, and part of the promotions in your community is just supporting your community. If you're not willing to help people out, they need help. And, as hard as things are for restaurateurs, these poor kids have never been isolated like this before. They don't know that they can't go and play with their friends, and they don't know what's going on. So any kind of regularity you can give to them, and any way you can help out. And like I said before, we're talking about, chains to non-chains. Hungry is hungry, and kids need to eat. Any way we can help support them is hats off. And again, you don't. Like you say, you don't like to brag or put it out there and talk about it, so I'm going to do it for you. But again, you also sell your sourdough, which is really famous. We can get to the story of that in a little bit. It all stems from 120-year-old starter, I believe. It comes from the Klondike Gold Rush. When we first opened up, it was actually my dad was out of work there's 2 floating bridges here in Washington State, and one of them was struck by lightning in 1980. And my dad was actually working on it for about 3 or 4 years and made good friends with one of our neighbors. And they were getting into pizza making competitions. And our neighbors had, at that time, was a 90-year-old sourdough starter from his great-great-grandfather from the Klondike Gold Rush. And
wow.
that's what we use to make our pizza then, and it's that same sour starter we use to make our pizza now, and that's what gives us, a unique flavor to what we do. And over the years, people always say, "What's your secret recipe? What's your secret recipe?" Well, it's the sourdough pizza. And that's what makes us different. But I've always felt like sharing is the best way to do it. And we've always sold it. It's just people didn't know about it. And this video that you see there is actually the first time I actually shared that we sell our starter and that we sell our dough to people, which is really a great way for home bakers to start doing, making sourdough breads or even making their own pizzas at home.
Mm-hmm. Well, in this, you're not necessarily doing pizza kits, but in this climate, they can come and get 5 pizza dough, or get some pizza dough balls and go make their pizza at home.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the nice thing about our pizza doughs, we do the 23.5 ounce large dough balls. You can cut them up to 4, you can come up to 6 pieces, and you can make whatever you want with it. You want to make cinnamon rolls.
Cook that with, or the temperature that they cook that at?
We cook ours about 525 degrees. We were on the kind of cooler side of things with our pizzas, but we like a slow caramelization of the crust. We don't want it charred. We want more caramelized, and we found that works really well for our pizza. Definitely, 525. And we do take and bake pizzas as well. That's also been really popular. When we've been dropping off all the school pizzas, because, it's a lot, it's 2 guys and, 80 pizzas. I've been making an extra 5 or 6 pizzas every time and dropping them off to the local fire department and local police department. And so we'll give 2 hot ones and we'll give 2 take and bake ones also, just kind of to say thanks to the people that are really risking their lives and all of this to keep, society somewhat normal, right? Doing their best to help people.
Well, what is normal these days? We need to be out there in the, policing and, keeping us safe. So we want to keep them safe. And it's great because 525 and most home ovens get up to, I think max is 500 degrees? I'm sorry, 550?
550.
I heard that Scott Wiener said he got in and took off the limiter on his oven one time so it can get hotter.
I do not recommend doing that.
No, I don't either.
You have a clean oven. I had an experience. I spent a summer working as a fisherman in a boat in Hawaii, and I had this great idea of making pizza out there. So I made this amazing pizza, but the other cook on the boat, it's 4 guys in a 75-foot boat, or 300 miles off the coast of Hawaii, and this guy was making a Thanksgiving feast every Thursday. So we'd have all the fixings, the trimmings, everything. Well, he wouldn't clean the damn oven. So here I am cooking at 525, and 300 miles from the coast, our oven catches on fire. So that was really exciting. So make sure your oven's clean, people. It's very important.
Yes, important to be safe. But also one more thing on the kind of the bragging, and this is going to segue into the next thing here. And I do apologize if some of the connection got a little blurry there, but I wanted to show this real quick. This is you're part of the World Pizza Champions, another great team, a lot of great people, and this is something that you guys did to help celebrate National Pizza Day, which was, I believe, February 9th. It says it right there.
Mm-hmm.
You see Nick Bogaz, who I'm actually going to be speaking to relatively soon. I think, is that Mike Bosch? I can't. And there's
it is, yes. There's Tony Triano right down there.
Yeah.
The JB Albertos.
Absolutely, Chicago, great place. So
I know Mitch Rotolo was in. The whole team was involved in it. It's
this is another thing, and you did this. This was you guys were all in mass. You were donating to local shelters, which is great. I know you guys watch us for stuff that we do, and then I see things like this that you guys do too, and it inspires us to do, say copycat. But it's just great because we all want to help. But I also wanted to say that you guys are doing something similar to what I'm doing here with the PMQ Live updates. And again, in this era of chaos, there is no competition. Any kind of good information that people can get, necessary information, I want people to have access to. So you guys are doing Instagram chats. Now, tell me how this works, because I've seen a couple, but they're usually 2 different people. It's like 2 different people get together and have a live chat.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So far it's been Nick and Melissa. Then it's been was it Paul and Cataldo, Tony Ceramelli yesterday.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And then there was Derek Sanchez and Tony Triano, and that one you see there with me and Mike Boucher and myself, and it's just talking to each other and talking to the industry about what's kind of going on and what are our best practices and how, how we're getting through this. I think for me, the biggest thing it's positivity. And that's one thing I love you're bringing up too is the U.S. pizza team, the world pizza team. I mean, there's, we're different teams, but we're brothers in pizza. And that's the beauty of the pizza industry. It's a family. And, most of my pizza buddies, they're not just on the world pizza champion team. They're on your team. They're, there's some great people. And we're all just doing the best job we can. And I think right now in this industry, especially in restaurants and this kind of economy, not just for the pizza industry, but for, home too, in our own communities, we need to stand up with positive stories and going through. That's what the world needs right now. The world's scared and there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. But anywhere we can stand up and say, hey, we're going to make it through this. We're going to make it through this together. I think needs to be shared out there. The whole world needs a hand up and needs help staying positive, being isolated alone like this. So any way that, us with you guys or us on our own, but we can, share what's working for us and how we're trying to adjust and adapt to what's happening right now, I think is really, really important.
Yeah, and I'm just showing this too because apparently you and Nick Bogads of Caliente's Pizza and Draft House, you guys were going to have a seminar, operations.
We were going to do a few classes. We were going to do a 2-day class together, and it was. It's kind of sad that right before our interview, I was saying that my little reminder came up. Pizza Expo today, and that's been big for people right now. So the Pizza Expo was canceled. And it's the biggest pizza trade show in the world, and it's weird. It's for me winning my championship and being on the team and stuff. It's my chance to kind of feel like a pizza celebrity for a few days over there and kind of be a pizza superstar. So I'm trying to make it positive and, because it sucks it's been canceled this year. I've been trying to, I want to be a pizza celebrity. I want to be a pizza positive here in my town, right? I want to, if I can't do that there, I got to do it here. And I want to keep that positivity going and, help as many people out at home as I can.
Yeah. And so I'm just on that note, where people know how to find this on PMQ.com, but where can they find the, I guess it's Instagram chats that you guys are doing on. Yeah,
so it's Instagram chats. It's on the World Pizza Champions Instagram page. We are going to be changing over our format. Thanks for your help the other day on the Zoom messages and meetings. We are going to be doing several different, I think we might actually redo what we've done. I don't know if I haven't really talked to the team too much. I'd like to because they're live chats. They were only live for a little while, but now we're going to go ahead and change it to the Zoom so we can do more and actually save them and share them with people as well. So I think what we're going to be doing is I'd like to redo a few of them, but we'll be getting out there, sharing them more and really sharing experience because, we got people that have different experiences that we don't have. Like me with my small town and, Nick with his 7 places. I'm not sure how many Melissa has. I mean, it's in every community, it's a little different right now. And in any way we can help. And just like you've been talking to Lars and Derek Tong, and you've been talking to a whole bunch of people, right? You were talking to Mike LaMarca. That was a great one. And
don't let him hear that. No.
He's the best. He's the best.
But again, there is no competition in this. It's all necessary information. And I want everybody to have as much access to it as they can. Because again, we're all in the same boat. I don't want to keep, beating that dead horse. But there was another couple things I wanted to talk to you about real quick. We were talking about, you were scared of kind of over promoting yourself. And I think you put it perfectly when you said, don't be opportunistic. There are a lot of people who can go that direction in a time like this. What is your message for that? What are you doing? What do you think like some kind of best practices are to not be opportunistic, to not over promote, but still make sure that you're out there and being visible?
Well, be sensitive to what's going on right now. I know at first it felt like the world was against us because everyone stopped going outside and stopped going to our restaurants. But now no one can go outside and no one's working. I mean, we are the lucky ones that can work. So be sensitive to that. And I think really and more so, there is a strength in just being open. There's a strength in being being dependable. People every Friday Friday's our busiest day of the week for us. It's different in different towns. I know for restaurants, it's usually Saturday, but for us, that's some pizza. It's Fridays. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to, stay open, stay consistent. There's strength in that. Every Friday, families have been eating pizzas with us for 35 years. So if we can, stay open, tell people your hours, letting them know when you're going to be open. That way they can have their normalcy. The world's kind of crumbling around people. They're stuck. They're having to, deal with things they've never dealt with before and, work with their kids in ways they haven't had to be teachers for their kids and kind of learn a new family dynamic. But there's a really big strength in just being there for people, letting them know when you're there, letting them being positive, sharing what you already have,
Well, and as you had said, positivity and adaptability, but we were also talking yesterday about, getting out of the house, taking care of your own mental health in this crazy time. Normalcy is the underlying tone from everybody I'm talking to. Normalcy, positivity, and strength.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, when you get out of the house, you got to be socially responsible. You don't want to be, brushing up against a lot of people. If you're quarantined with your family, that's fine. You can all go out together.
Mm-hmm. For us, it's been walks. It's a family walk every day with my family. It's really one of the biggest things I look forward to. I know my daughter looks forward to, my dogs look forward to, and even my wife. It's getting out there and learning to bond. And as horrible as this is, we're still alive. We still have each other. And yes, we're all confined together, but it's a great way for us to kind of get to know each other again and get to know how to live with each other again.
And I did want to, well, I'm sorry. I wanted to kind of bring up, you touched on it, and this is something I've been thinking about too, is that, extended spring breaks, I was just thinking of the kids, they're like, oh, that's gotta be great. And then schools have been canceled for the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this other situation and topic. And if anybody out there can speak about it, I would love to talk with you, but about people having to homeschool now. So now you have to have this full-time job if you're out there, either working at your restaurant or maybe like me working from home, but then you have to have your children in the,
what do your kids think about it?
You have to teach your children. You have to homeschool them. I know some schools are sending home packets. A lot of the older kids, I was talking with my buddy Craig the other day, middle schoolers and high schoolers, a lot of them are getting issued Chromebooks and stuff like that. So they can do the online stuff. But and
your kids are out of the house now, right? They're all like 35 and 40, right?
No, I got a 12-year-old cat and a 10-year-old cat. So they're still here.
Yeah, still teaching away.
35, 40. How dare you? I'm going to come over there and punch that beard off your face, my friend. But seriously though, your daughter, she's relatively young, so I know
she's in second grade.
Yeah, that's actually my buddy Craig has a son in second grade too, and they're giving out packets and stuff like that. So I think that's another issue too. That it's another thing that kind of came up that I didn't think about not having children. I thought kids are going to be like, heck yeah, school's canceled. But you got
it's been a little. It's kind of crazy, because you got your I got friends like down the street. They have, 2 kids, so they're in the middle of a remodel. So they've had campers set up in their front yard. And so residential construction is considered non-essential. So now they're stuck with not stuck, but I guess they are. They're in these little tiny campers with a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old. And the kids are just bouncing off the walls. They're used to working all the time, so they just kind of had to relearn about how to get along with each other and how to help each other out. And it's hard for everyone. This is just hard for the kids. It's hard for the adults. But you got to become a teacher. You got to become a counselor. You got to become a PE teacher, a math teacher, an English teacher, and it's hopefully this will be the downfall of new math. Because my daughter's learning to carry the one now.
I wouldn't have looked at it, man. I can't learn it. And honestly, my math is crazy anyway. I go really round and round. I get the right answers, but my teacher's kid could never figure out how I got them. But you're right.
And that's why, these school lunches are so important too. I think if anyone here has a pizzeria, reach out to your school district. Help out any way you can. You're a part of the community, and that's a big strength. Their show of strength is helping out people how you can. Because even now, so the meals aren't just for kids without meals. They're just for any kids that need a meal. And, there's something really important about getting out of the house now. And, my wife will go on a grocery run once a week. I have to go to work 3 to 4 times a week. But the kids, they're stuck at home all the time. So them just being able to get out of the house and go get a meal like that means a lot to them. And that's going to leave an impression with those kids. So it's important that you help out any way you can like that, and make it special for them, right? I mean, they could stay at home and get a PB&J, but how often do they go out and get your food?
Yeah. And I did. Carmelo, I see your question. I'm going to get to that in just one second. I really appreciate your interaction and always asking these guys questions. I did want to ask you about that, though. Are you finding yourself, are you just making pizzas at work and taking them home, or are you making a concerted effort to go to other local establishments and support them and get dinners for your family or staff?
I'd say D, all of the above. Once a week, I like to try to bring home some a pizza, and I'll drop one off for my mom who's been quarantined at her house alone. She's been alone now for 2 weeks. That's kind of hard on her. So I usually, like you said, my favorite restaurants I'll get takeout from, the Tracy Tavern, the Kingston Ale House. Slice Bakery is a pretty famous bakery here in Paulsbo. So I'll go get donuts for the staff once a week, and get some cinnamon bread for my mom, and some apple fritters for the crew. And it's we all have to do our part, right? And it's hard in these times where we're scared we want to just stay at home, but definitely I'm trying to get out there and get to my my local friends that own restaurants and go to them as much as possible.
Well, yeah, I mean, it could be very easy because you have all the product there. You could just be, even if it's not pizza, you can take what you have at the store and make something. But we all have to be, socially conscious about trying to support the rest. And like you said, and this is something I'm hearing too, is that it doesn't matter if it's a chain. At first, I was thinking like support local, and I wanted to change that message is just support, because even at chains, those people are working. Those people are getting laid off, or they're scared and they're hungry and need work. So,
a buddy of mine in Colorado is doing a lot with that. A buddy of mine, Thomas Garnick, out there, I think he's done 3,500 meals now. I told you to give him a call, but the first thing he did, it's just crazy. First thing I did, I heard about this. Oh my God, we're going to close down. Just me and one other person. My mom said, close down lunch. What does this guy, Thomas Garnick, do? Okay, let's close down and let's feed the city. So this guy, not only does he take all his food, first thing he takes out his mobile pizza oven, he starts feeding people with pizzas. Next thing he does, he reaches out to all the local restaurants in the area with their product that's going to get spoiled, and he starts feeding people there. And it's amazing how people in times like this, they can really step up and make a difference in the community. And really,
and you told me and I definitely want to reach out to him. I haven't had a chance yet, but if you're watching or you see this, Tom, I do want to talk to you for sure. So Carmelo, I want to address his question. He wants to know, and you might not have the answer, but maybe give a best suggestion, but how do you deal with competition that's just giving everything away? He's got customers coming in every day that want everything for free. And he says, I tell them tomorrow is free. I don't know if that's a joke.
That's a great answer.
Serious, but I mean, have you seen that? And if what do you tell them?
I don't know. We do a loyalty program. So for so many pizzas you buy, you get a free one. And it's just kind of, I had an employee that he had just quit because the stress of things. And it was kind of, it's weird. People were freaking him out. The people were, what's your COVID special? Like, I mean, I don't understand it. We're open. I don't know. That's our COVID special. It's, I don't know. People expect that, and especially it's been interesting kind of watching the whole restaurant industry. It used to be the pizza industry was, fighting against the big five. And for people that don't know what the big five are, it's Pizza Hut, Domino's, Papa Murphy's,
Pizza Hut, Domino's, Papa John's, Little Caesars, the big four. And then, I mean, those are the big four.
And then the fifth one kind of bounces around between who's on top, right?
Exactly, right.
And so we've been competing with them for, as long as they've been open. The little guy has been. Well, now every restaurant is competing with them because every restaurant is takeout and delivery. And so it's changed how people have to do business. And it's interesting seeing how some of these restaurants, they can't even, seeing on some of these threads, like, takeout and delivery is hard. And it was pretty funny. It was a Pizziolo. I put it up and on this page, and like 5 comments down, one guy goes, "Welcome to the trenches." I just thought it was hilarious. But it's the truth. You get a fine dining restaurant, you're charging $40 a plate, you get 2 seatings, you're done for the night. Well, now we're in a world, and in the pizza world in general, where, we'll get 100 orders an hour, right? You know, you got 45 minutes an hour for 40 people. We got 100 orders an hour for the last 3 hours, and we're trying to do the best job we can and give the most consistent product. And I think right now for your buddy, Carmine, or who is it? Carmelo? Carmelo. I mean, just remember that, you know, just stay consistent. Do what you're already doing. Just say, I'm sorry, we can't. I'm just trying to stay open. I can't give out any discounts right now. I really, you know, I'm just trying to support my staff, because what's going to happen here is these restaurants that are now delivering, you know, how far do you think a Neapolitan pizza is going to be delivered and taste good? It's not gonna. When something cooks in 90 seconds, it's going to lose the heat in 5 minutes. You've got a thicker crust, you know, New York style pizza, that's better for delivery. And I guess the overall what I'm trying to say from this is everyone's going to be your competition for a little while, but people, it's going to level out again. It's going to get normal again. As much as people want to support my competition here, there's only so many people can spend $40 for one person when they can spend $20 for 4 to 5 people with ours. And right now it's scary. People are supporting a lot of people, but just know it's going to get regular again, you know.
Yeah.
The Spanish flu happened before. We lived through 2008 real estate, then 9/11 3 years later. We made it through this. The economy was what it was because we made it there, and we will get back there again. Just stay consistent, stay open, and don't let people beat you down on prices, because they can just go next door. But the reality is a lot of those, and the sad reality of this is, with high rents and not being able to be consistent with delivery and takeout, there's going to be a lot of loss in the restaurant industry. There's a lot of people that aren't going to make it because the margins are so low. So if you can keep your doors open by keeping the prices you have, you're going to come out in the long run smelling like roses, because you're going to be the guy that's still there in the next 10 years.
Well, and just a couple things real quick. And we did get another question from Amanda Cicciarella, so we will address that in a second. But you know, it's just like you said, now everybody's competing against the Big Five. But play on that is that actually the Big Five are now having to compete with everybody, where they maybe used to be the Big Five and the top dogs. Mm-hmm. Now they know what it's like to be the independent and have to try to grab that part of the market. But what I think I took from that, right, could maybe help you, Carmelo, is loyalty programs. Hey, you know, those first 5 pizzas aren't free, but come back, that 6th one will be, you know, and don't call it a COVID special. I don't even like using that term in this. Right? I've never used the name of it, because I don't want to keep putting it out there. I'm trying to stay away from that, but definitely don't name something on your menu after the situation. That's what I'm calling it, the situation. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a cease and desist from the Jersey Shore here.
You'll never get a DJ your party again.
So,
well, you know, you can do things also. If you're helping people out, let them know. Say, hey, I'd love to be able to give you a discount, but right now, you know, I'm trying to feed the hospitals. I know, 2 of my friends in Connecticut in different areas, you know, Lorenzo with Joe's Pizza and Perry with Famous Pizza. They've really been going out of their way to kind of to help out the hospitals and the first responders as much as they can. You know, go with that route. Say, hey, I'd love to give you a discount, but I just gave 10 pizzas to the hospital down the street. You know, we're not, you know, I'm not trying to get your business this way. I'm trying to help people out and help the community. And I tell you what, that'll be the last person. That person either asks for a discount or comes to your restaurant. One of the two, right?
Yeah, well, it's one or the other. But again, it's just educating the customer on what you're doing, and maybe it makes them take a look at what they're asking of you and changes their attitude about it. All right, so we're going to get to this question real quick. Will Grant, you have some, this is from Amanda Cicciarella. You have some great thoughts on restaurant stability and supporting staff during this time, being involved in the community, and especially being a mom myself. Your idea to reach out to the schools hits close to home, and it's a great idea for all restaurateurs. However, I feel what is the most important to the world currently is, do you think Joe Exotic is guilty, and do you have any ideas on how to free him? I should really read these questions before I ask them live.
Does she know about her joke earlier at all, or no? Probably not.
No, I said, I let her know about pictures, but yeah. Joe Exotic for president 2020.
Joe Exotic for president. I tell you what, though, it's interesting how that thing's kind of taken life by storm, because, you know what, no matter how hard life gets, you know, somebody else there has it worse. And, you know, it's the memes from that are, I think, the funniest thing in my life. And
well, it's currently seems to be, as of the beginning of this week or last week, everybody's guilty pleasure in the lockdown is Tiger King on Netflix. I'm not trying to give it a commercial, but I'm like an episode or two in, and it kind of grabs you. It's so weird.
I feel, so to answer the question, I feel that I haven't gotten the last episode. I'm on episode 6, but I feel the guy was in traps. I think that the lady activist, I think she did kill her husband. The video he did about that was the best thing I've seen in my life, with the look-alike feeding the tigers.
Okay, spoilers. Okay, we're going to chop this out when we put it online. I hate you so much, Will, but I love your beard, so you're still good. There's one more thing that I want to just bring up real quick as your school. You went to Italy, right? And you got trained at the... I
was trained with Tony Gemiani's school, the International School of Pizza, or the School of Pizzaiolo Italiano. And then I've been going to different schools across the country. Massimiliano Siva's Pizzeria and the Roman Pizza School in Miami. I went there last year. And then also I went to a Tal Mill with Oksana. I can't spell her last name. I'm sorry, Oksana. And a few other guys at Tal Mill for the Roman style pizza. So I have been certified on several different styles of pizza. And I do, well, that's kind of another thing. So I've been having a 2-year project now. We bought a building and we've been remodeling it into a pizzeria, slice house up front, and then a dining room and a Neapolitan style pizzeria in the back, and then doing a school there. I mean, my whole life I've been a big fan of Tony Gemiani's, and seeing what he's done has been pretty amazing. And, you know, he did Rotoflex Oven, I did Rotoflex Oven. You know, he did Revention. I did Revention for a while, but I found that when you see successful people in this industry, I try to do what they do, and I really saw what he was doing with his school, and I really wanted to do something like that. So I've been working on this project. Like I said, it's been around 2 years now. We've got the front slice house almost completely done, and we were going to open on the 12th of April, but now with the shutdown being until the 15th of April, that's not really going to work. And in this climate, I don't know if I really wanted to open up right at that time anyways, but the school is going to be a big part of it, is still going to be a big part of it. But that's, that's a different, whole set of problems now. So now there's a government lockdown. What do we do? The first they said that you would be able to build, and then they said you couldn't, and then you could, and then you can't again. So it's really just kind of a waiting game, seeing what we can do and just preparing as much as we can, doing a lot of menu work and just doing a lot of cooking at home to see what we can do. But we will still be doing the school, but in this climate right now, and that's another thing with the tourism. We talk about tourism here. I think where it's located. So we're on Bainbridge Island now. The school is in Kingston, Washington, which is a northern ferry boat route also. So Bainbridge Island goes across to Seattle, and Kingston goes across to Edmonds. But it also actually has a passenger ferry that goes from downtown Seattle also. So there are 2 ports of entry there, and Sourdough Willie's and the school, Pacific Northwest School of Pizza will be right there at that ferry dock. And nice. But there's 26,000 people a day that take that ferry, and it's now gone to, I think ridership has gone down 60% on their ferries. Usually they change to a summer schedule where they have twice as many boats, with actually keeping it and actually slowing down the ferries, because there's so many people telecommuting in to work now. Yeah. That is, in traffic. I used to laugh on the morning news. I used to laugh like, oh, look, those guys in Seattle, the traffic's so bad. Now it's just like, wow, there's no traffic in Seattle anymore or here. So it's definitely interesting, but it's a process, and really I'm kind of happy it happened when it did, because imagine if I had to lay off a whole staff there, right? That would have been kind of scary. That's the last thing I want to do.
And it's great because, like you said, it is part restaurant, part school, and people will come out of your school certified as a pizzaiolo.
Certified pizzaiolos, and we'll be cooking 7 different styles of pizza there, so we'll be certified different kinds. Plus, we'll be doing it kind of as a business school as well, so we'll get aspects on doing inventory, making orders, and having it being it's funny, the idea of having a school being an actual functioning restaurant kind of helps on several different ways because they can see how a functioning restaurant works, as opposed to, places that do schools that don't have a restaurant in there. You can, there's concepts in life and there's realities in life, and you can teach these concepts as much as you want, but there's certain realities you have to deal with in the business world that you really can't be taught. You have to learn. So
you have to see the operational side. And then, that's a great thing about Tony's school is it is there at his shop in San Francisco. And also I did want to mention that Leo Spazzeri also has a school in Chicago too, Lisle, Illinois, actually, but just outside of Chicago. Great place, but that is not a restaurant.
No.
It's beautiful. We had a pizza competition there.
That's right.
He has climate controlled refrigerators and all the mixers, all the different kind of mixers, so you can test that, and numerous types of ovens too. So, if you want to figure out how to be a great pizzaiolo, check out Tony Gimignani's, Leo Spazzeri's, and then
Massimiliano Siva's Roman Pizza School also. That's a really, really good one.
Yeah, Massimiliano Siva is that's down in Florida. If you want to learn how to do like Roman style, I got to talk with him. He gave me his recipe, and I made it a few times. I still trying to perfect it, but
so am I. Right. Mm-hmm.
So it's great that we have all these things coming out, and now they're sprouting up.
It's going to be interesting after this kind of ends because, at first people were scared for restaurants because all the customers left, but now everything else is shut down except for restaurants. And I think it's really going to show people that being in the restaurant industry, being able to work it yourself is very, very valuable. There's going to be a lot of people out of work looking for things to do, and learning how to make pizza. You can do a week class and learn you want, but the people that teach these classes, we've been doing this our whole lives, and they're trying to teach people to be successful with it. But it's a lot easier to be successful for yourself and be your own boss, and then have to deal with someone else laying you off and deal with that also.
True.
No, there's power in that. There's power in being able to say, hey, we're shutting down today, or hey, we're going to stay open an hour later today, right? And in this new world that kind of evolves from what we have going on here, I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity with restaurants because so many will have shut down because they didn't learn the correct skills to be able to be open. All this, learn how to do takeout, delivery, dine in, different styles of pizza and do it right. It's going to be my heart goes out to all those people that we've talked about, because it has been hard in the restaurant industry, but I really hope, I wish them all well, and that they get through this on the other side. But like we were saying earlier to Carmelo, stay consistent. If you need to change your hours, that's fine. But, like in that video, one of the ones you kind of showed there, it was just me telling my customers, hey, we've changed your hours. We're open. We're here for you. We're going to be here for you. That's kind of the promotions I have been.
Well, and Carmelo did have another follow-up question, and I'm going to get to that here just one second, Carmelo. And Dennis McQuinn says, hey there, Will.
Hey, Dennis.
Liz Barrett Foster, current editor or former editor at large, former editor of PMQ Pizza Magazine, tuned in. So she's got a big old thumbs up for you.
Yay! Love Liz. She's a great gal.
Yep, absolutely. You can check out her. She's got a book too on Amazon. I'm sorry, I'm trying to talk and read at the same time, and I can barely do one thing. I'm just happy I'm not chewing gum. My head would explode. All right, so Carmelo asks his follow-ups, how do you deal with our commissioners that said that they can stay open, but I think what it is customers are thinking everybody should close for 2 weeks just to fight the coronavirus. Have you kind of felt that in your community? The commissioners say that they can stay open, but the customers kind of think people should close down. It's kind of hit hard in the Fort Myers area. But,
it's hard, right? There are a lot of businesses saying, well, I'm going to close down ahead of this. There's a point you don't want to promote to try to make money and, try to profit off of this. But at the same time, you got bills to pay, Carmelo. You got a lease on your building. You got a mortgage on your house. You got car payments possibly. And, some people feel you should close, but you can't spread this, but through food. This is only something to be touched, or it's airborne. I mean, so it's not through digestion, stomach acids kill it. So I think it's, it is scary, and it's something I do think about a lot, especially losing a lot of staff. And it's a scary world, but you got to pay your bills, right? You got to, and I'm not going to wait and see, everyone says, oh, close down for 2 weeks, your payments will be deferred. There's all these loans for you. Well, a loan is a loan. There's still interest on it. I don't care how low it is. If I can pay my mortgage and I can pay my lease, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to wait for the government to maybe get it to me. I mean, right now in this political climate with it being right around an election year and games being played in between each other, I mean, the sad, I don't talk about politics. I don't talk about religion usually because there's always an opposing side. But I will talk about politicians right now and the fact that, Republicans always think Democrats are horrible. Democrats think the Republicans are horrible. The reality is they're in it for them, and they're in it for the people that contribute to their cause. I wish they would wear team jackets like the U.S. Pizza team and the World Pizza Champion team wear, because we could see who really gives them their money to see who really supports them, because they're not about supporting us, and we have to support ourselves. And that is through giving out pizzas to your local fire department and your police departments, helping feed kids. That's really what you're about. As much as the world economy is falling to pieces, it's your local economy that's going to save you. And there's going to be people that are going to be mad you're open, but there's going to be even more people mad that you're closed because they can't get that pizza on Friday night that makes their life seem normal to them. And it's
no, and that definitely makes sense right there. And it's not to use a harsh term, but I mean, it's the ignorance of some people, and it's not a harsh term. It's an accurate description, is that they don't know that it's not something you're going to get through food necessarily as much as, rubbing elbows with everybody. So
absolutely.
I think the commissioners or your city council and stuff like that, they're a lot more, they're just better informed than just the general public, because we're just getting it through Facebook news feeds and whatever media you watch. So, again, just try to support, support local as best you can, and support everybody. But, stay open, stay confident, stay strong, Carmelo, and, keep, like I said, don't give away. Tomorrow's not free. The sixth time you come by is free. That's an incentivization for them to keep coming back as well. And then also, like Will said, let them know that what you're doing. It's like, well, I can't give you for free because I just gave 10 pizzas to the local fire department. Sorry, not today. So as long as they know what you're doing, it could change attitudes in the community. So I'm just kind of checking out Tony's Restaurant and Pizza and Pub. They want links to everyone I've been talking to afterwards. Yes, guys, you can always find all these interviews here on PMQ's Facebook page. They're going to live there in perpetuity, but we're also chopping up some of these videos for shorter links that you can find at pmq.com as well. So, or you can just email me at brian@pmq.com, and I can find some way I'll make a Dropbox. I'll put the videos in there, and I'll make that accessible to anybody, and they can just pick and choose what they want to see. We want to make this information as accessible as possible to people. So, because we got great people like Will Grant. Give the beard stroke. Hold on a sec. There you go. I got to make sure I'm quiet so they can see it. So, Will, I thank you so much. And you know what? I said I probably wasn't going to do this, but I don't know. This was going to be the original. This was going to be the original thumbnail for this, and I can't even remember this guy's name, but he's a comedian, and his so I'm just putting it up there because I was really proud of that. That's a shirtless guy.
So this is what brings us back to the Joe Exotic question, because you would put this up saying, oh, look, this is what I can put up for our interview. And I said, oh, man, have you seen this show called Tiger King? You look exactly like this guy, Joe Exotic. And you're all like, really? I'm going to check this out.
And then,
that was pretty freaking hilarious.
What I remember is you said your wife said I did, and then she said I look like the second husband. So you kept blaming your wife, and I'm like, does she even know what I look like? And then I said, or do you just want me to punch you from across the map? But it's I can see you're looking for something. I'll give you that. Go ahead.
Let's see. I said. Does your wife even know what I look like, or are you seriously trying to get a punch from across the map?
And that's the love of two pizza guys right there.
No, I said, let's see. No, I said, gosh, that was hilarious. Yeah, the Netflix special, yeah. Joe Exotic.
I don't know. It just all kind of came up all at the same time. So,
but I just wanted to say to everyone out there right now in the pizza community, stay positive. Keep your doors open as long as you can. Share on Instagram Live. Dennis McQuinn's actually been doing a great job letting people know what's going on. Same with Thomas Garnick and, Joe, Lorenzo Joes and Perry. Share with people what you're doing and what you're trying and how you're helping the community. This is really what we need more than a sales call right now, or we need, buy this, buy that. The whole world needs to see the positivity that we're bringing to your community, and they need something to smile about right now.
Yep.
And the beauty of pizza is it makes everyone smile. So we have a very unique experience and ability to make the world smile during one of the biggest, hard times our country has gone through in our lives. I mean, this is going to be more than anything else we've ever seen, and we didn't even know what the fall is going to be. But if you can make someone smile, if you can give someone tears of happiness, if you can feed someone on the front lines that's really exhausted, do it. And it's your duty not only as a business person, but as a part of your community. And I just think that positivity and that happiness is something we really need to do. And Brian, you're doing something great here. And the World Pizza Champions are doing good stuff also. I'm just really proud of our whole community stepping up through this and doing the best job we can.
Well, thank you so much, Will. And it's through people like you that we can actually do this and get the information out there. Carmelo, I did see your last question, but we're at the end of our thing. So, Will, I know Carmelo would probably like to reach out to you or other people as well. How can they reach you? And you can maybe give them suggestions or just talk. So some people just need to talk.
Yeah, no, and I love talking with people. If anyone reaches out to me, I will talk to them. Any of the people I've talked about here, I've helped out before, and I've mentioned here on the show. But you can reach me on Instagram or Facebook at That's a Some Pizza, or at Sourdough Willies, or at will.lawrencegrant on Instagram. Any of those, reach out to me. I will give you a hand. You need help working with sourdough pizza? You need help with marketing to a small town? You need help figuring out how to groom a beautiful beard, anything I can do, any way I can help spread positivity and help someone, have a good day, I'm more than happy to do. So please reach out if you need help. And if you're having issues, I'm always available to chat with anyone.
Well, yeah, that's perfect. Well, I love talking with you, and I'm going to have to cut it off because, as you well know, when we start talking, we go for hours. So
absolutely.
I know there's a whole lot more. It's just so comfortable talking with you. You're great with your business, but just with people in general. So I highly recommend people to reach out to you at any of those places, the Instagram, Facebook, or even will.lawrence.something.
Will.Lawrence Grant for my private chef one, but then also That's a Some Pizza or Sourdough Willies. Right. Any of those, reach out to me. I will respond.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you again so much. That's a Some Pizza in Bainbridge Island, Washington, just outside of Seattle. Go check it out. Look for Sourdough Willies to be opening up as soon as they can, honestly. So and if you want to learn how to make all this stuff, go there. Take the classes, and you'll be a certified pizzaiolo, even if you don't own a restaurant. So
absolutely. And also look for us on World Pizza Champions. Also, we'll be doing more podcasts like this as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just get that information out there. And the World Pizza Champions, Nick, Tony, too many to list.
Yeah, it's all both our teams. Absolutely. Both sides. But yeah, on either side of this, it's a pizza brotherhood. All of us are in this together, and all of us, we're going to come out of this together. So True. Thanks, Brian.
I wanted to acknowledge them as well. We love what you guys do, and obviously my team as well, or not my team, but U.S. Pizza team.
Yeah.
Everybody stay positive. That's the message, right, Will?
Absolutely. PMQ Pizza Today. Those are your best resources in the pizza industry right now. So absolutely. Thank you.
Perfect. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next time. I actually, just real quick, I want to say I'm going to be talking with John Stetson tomorrow, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. He's a Stoner's Pizza joint in Fort Lauderdale. So another one down in Florida that, just, with all the tourism, and they're getting hit hard as well. People bringing it down to Florida. That's actually my folks live in Fort Myers, so
Wow.
they're good. I talked with them yesterday. That was great. But he's going to be talking about he was doing free lunches for kids as well, and that's kind of evolved into like first responders and actually from that getting donations from the community to help out with staff and or other charities. So he's doing a lot of good there. There's actually a story about him up on PMQ.com, so go check it out. 1 p.m. On Wednesday, April 1st, at 1 p.m. Central, we got Nick Bogaz, your bestest buddy from Caliente Draft House. We're going to be talking about clear communication to your team on every single change that comes up in the program, being proactive and making sure they know it before anybody else knows it, so that they can adjust. Because in this changing times, it's coming fast, and it's really hard to keep up sometimes. And that's, I think, very important for your staff, because, if you can't train them, they can't do their job right. So, and to make sure that you get that message out to your customer base. I got more. We're going to try to, now that I got a lot of people signed up, I'm going to try to get the schedule out ahead of time so that you guys can see it and tune in to what you like. They're always going to stay on PMQ.com and the PMQ Facebook page. So again, one more time, I want to make sure that they end by seeing your pretty face, Will. So why don't you give us one more beard stroke? All right, that's enough. See you guys later. Thanks for tuning in.
Absolutely. We'll have to do this again sometime.
Absolutely. It's going to happen.
Awesome. Thanks, buddy.
Bye.
Cheers.